Hey Sarah, hey Mitch, hey Andrew. Thank you for moderating in the green blue font there. What's going on? What are people talking about? Oh, drones. Loud and clear. Good evening, everybody. Hey Cashew, hey Valentina. Hey Siobhan, how are you? Very happy to see everyone. Oh, good. Jeff McPee's here. Thank God. Hat Creek Dog Training. Hey Kay, hey Heather, hey Susie. Nice. Right. So, welcome. This is the Do Nothing Project. And oh, if you've never been here before, this is pretty much it. We sit, we meditate ish, we accomplish almost nothing. Kiddo asleep. He's sick actually. My guy, they're both sick, so they were wiped out. So just got him down, and that means I'm gonna have a peaceful meditation tonight, which is very good. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Yeah. I'm getting that over there. I don't want to burn this plant. Anyway, yep, this is a Do Nothing Project. Nothing much happens. I'm your host, Jeff. With me is Andrew in the blue font there, moderating, and many, many, many of our community friends saying hello in the chat, and many, many, many not saying hello in the chat, and that's how it should be. So welcome back for the regulars. If you're new, good to have you. We're a friendly community of low aspirants on the doing scale, at least for this evening. And the idea is to enjoy this 30 minutes or so. It's a 25-minute guided practice of if it's Sunday night, if you're Eastern Standard Time like me, that's great. Actually, the majority of people listen to it later through the week, so whatever time you're listening, good to see you, or good to have you along. I'm not seeing you, not seeing anybody. And you might be in an earlier time zone, but we don't do anything. It's wonderful. Sometimes I say some words of motivation, but I don't really I don't feel motivated to do that tonight. But I will say it is good medicine. I mean, not just the community connection, the feeling of having other humans also inside a life that are connected to you, and find sitting here doing nothing to be a valuable use of their time, but also the settling, the sanity, the tasting what it's like to not need to change anything around, truly. And then, and of course, what happens is you slow down and you notice all the ways in which you're not present, that your kind of go-to ways of distracting yourself, and that has so many different forms, from suddenly getting unaccountably sleepy, even though you may just be genuinely sleepy. There's that too, but sometimes we just, it's like, oh, I don't want to be with this, so I'm going to kind of be more zoned out. Or we think some really interesting thought, all of a sudden all these very interesting thoughts are coming that we just must indulge. And these are extraordinary thoughts. They're not just the run-of-the-mill busy list making thoughts. I need to, because that's what my mind will always do. No, this is really important now. Or the body gets really restless and uncomfortable, or we start to doubt the value of doing this at all, and or we doubt our own capacity to get anything from it, or whatever it is. There's always some way in which we then start to move away from just what's here. So it's good medicine to actually hang out an attempt to calibrate with the nothing much happeningness of the present moment, of course, which is also about everything happening. Sometimes it gets quite deep. So I feel like that's kind of a baseline. It's a baseline practice to just sit and let yourself be a human, and it in itself is a full path. It just because it over the months and years of doing that, there's a certain trust in your own mind, body, situation that begins to develop. That gets really deep. It gets in there, and it kind of starts to erode some of that chronic restlessness, and there can be this real ground that emerges just from a practice like this. And it's also a very good baseline to explore other practices if that's a motivation for people. Like I often use it once I get settled. I do a kind of an inquiry practice where I'm just looking around for this thing that I imagine as a self. Where is this thing? I kind of have a way in which I go about that, or if I'm working with there's something intense in my life, I might do a practice about deliberately working with reactivity, and or I might do a more traditional insight practice of just seeing what's here that I hadn't noticed. There's just a lot of different ways to go. So I'm going to guide a simple practice, and I'll set it up, and we'll see where it goes for you, because it's a highlight for me, Shadika, and Emma, and Paul, and Christiana, and 3635 Patrick, an artsy traveler. Recommendations for books on insight practice. My recommendation is you read Mindfulness by Joseph Goldstein. It's a very good book on insight practice. And there are many others, but that's a very balanced, sane, user-friendly book. So let's do it. As always with the Do Nothing Project, our sits are 25 minutes. You can make them your own. You can be slowly moving, doing the dishes, stretching, looking at the window. You can be sitting in perfect lotus posture. You can be spread out, spread eagled on the back of your couch. You could be hanging over the side of your couch. You could be listening to the radio. It doesn't matter. But try to be present. And you can do your own thing, or you could follow along with this guidance. This is my little timer. This is my sacred stone of meditation. Do you have one of these stones? Everything changes. Your meditation supercharges, and you turn into a piece of the earth, disappear into a lava quagmire. All right. I like kind of narrating my own first 5 minutes here because it's literally what I do to get settled. So a few slow, deliberate breaths. And notice the breathing, especially the out breath, the a little relaxation, the diaphragm lets go. There's a kind of pulse downward that you can travel with into the body. So you're kind of aware of this. Sometimes I try to imagine I'm taking an elevator down through my throat, and I'm right there in my heart or my chest or my belly. I'm looking out from there. It's like my face is pressed up against the inside of my chest or against my belly. What if that were your center of operation? Not that there's anything wrong with the head, but just mix it up a bit. So how fully can you feel the torso? The breath, the way the breath rocks the core of the body. Maybe you're noticing the feeling of the warmth in your hands, the energy in the hands, or the feeling of contact with your seat on the ground, or the chair, or the sofa, bed, your feet on the ground, whatever it is. Breathing up from the ground, breathing in some of that mineral goodness, metaphorically, and then breathing out as though you're really landing and arriving. And notice that. Are you really letting the ground support you, or are you kind of a little bit holding yourself up off it, like you don't trust it, or a little bit tense, a little bit uh, tight-assed? Like, meh. It's like collapse, but not like let go, but not collapse. You keep the integrity of the spine or quality of alertness. And that's the line, right, that you're riding between relaxation. You go too far down relaxation, you get sleepy and zoned out. So you kind of need some alertness too. But if you get too wiggy and alert, it gets kind of, wiggy and electric. Riding that line from inside the body. Of course, the equanimity is just practicing being okay with the whole surround, the sounds, the situation, the sensations. They're just what's here, kind of moving at this slow, flowing pace. And some of that's the echo of the day working itself through you. You don't need to block it or change it. Just patient here as things settle. Of course, you can just sit and do nothing here, or you may just spontaneously or by decision begin to pay attention to a simple home base. Breath rocking the body, sound, energy flows, whatever. Something that, some simple thing you decide to devote your attention to for a while, with the understanding that it's satisfactory in and of itself, not looking for it to entertain you or stimulate you, just respectfully observing it as it is. Practice of finding that to be enough. mind wanders, come back to right here, to whatever it is you're deciding to spend time with. In companionable silence. I mean, it's just being a body. It'd be nice to go deep into a sense stream, whether it's sound or sensation, or really kind of be with it in this bare way, like you'd never heard that sound before or ever felt that thing before. What is it? If you didn't know what it was, like you just were born, as if there were no self it was even happening to. Can you get that bare? Pardon me. I'm just noticing where the mind is now. If it's drifted off or found some thing to do that's more interesting than just being here, can you bring it back? Practice of finding whatever's happening in this moment to be sufficient. Sometimes if things are challenging, that means having to go pretty narrow. Just find one small thing. Nice.
in the last few minutes, if you feel like it. Nice to, we've got that good baseline. We'll do a bit of a loving kindness or gratitude or appreciation practice of some kind. And my go-to is just thinking about things I appreciate, small things, big things, and trying to connect to the details, the sensory details of them. You know, the look on someone's face or the way the air smelled or whatever it is. It's fun to go through people sometimes too, just think of different people. Maybe someone you haven't thought about in a while. Whoever comes to mind, may you be well. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for being a permutation that encountered my life this time around. Could have been any way, but it's this way. It went exactly this way. With these people, these places, this life. Thank you. What is it they say? Happiness is wanting what you have. Thank you. Thank you for your practice. Thank you, house, for no interruptions. Nice, bro. Hey, Valentini, I think I stole that from Jack Cornfield. Thank you, permutation. Oh man, yeah. I gotta get a cat or a dog. I got a dog. I got two dogs, two puppies. My youngest is like hilariously puppy like. Oh, thanks, Elaine. Yeah. Oh, so who's up tomorrow? At CEC, Dr. James. James is one of my best friends. Awesome guy. So if you're curious about the CEC, he's really good. He's gonna guide one tomorrow night at 7:30. They do it at CEC, and it's free or by donation, whatever you want. Uh, yeah, he's a poetic Zen guy. Yeah, it was peaceful. I really enjoyed that. I think I might call this one Andrew baseline Baseline. Here's your shot. Here's your screenshot. Baseline. Did you get it? Yep. Oh, great. Thanks, Kevin. The Kevin Shenelik interview is, I think it's really interesting. The guy on my MindBod pod, his whole Federer's approach is super interesting. Whoever was interested in the insight practice, that's kind of like way deeper. I mean, not way deeper, just a different way of coming at the same material, but very progressive and interesting. And then, yeah, other things happening. What was it? Ultraman. That's a good point. I'm wanting to see the new Ultraman reboot. Let's see, couple things got a Bahamas thing I'm doing this winter, end of February, a few days. If people want to come to that, be cool. I'm gonna go with my whole family. It'll be very relaxing. It's on my home base. I mentioned it, the latest home base thing, and it's on my website. But I'm excited. I've never been there. This place, this ashram place, and then yeah, I also just put up a thing on my website. I'm going to do my first West Coast retreat on Cortez Island in BC, which is this gorgeous island that Sarah and I went to for remember that? For our, for our honeymoon. It was hilarious. Sarah and I have this, we went to this, so we had this amazing week after we got married where we went, and we just the Gulf Islands in BC are mind-blowingly gorgeous if you don't know them. Some of you are lucky enough to live there. And just like these vertical evergreen mountains rising vertically out of this beautiful blue water, and these archipelagos, and it's just dizzying. Orcas, water streaming off their back. But we went to this in Cortez Island, which is fairly remote, kind of remote to get to. It takes a while to get to, but so beautiful. And we harvested oysters when the tide would go out, and then we barbecue them at our little Airbnb, and we had the best time. And then we did this meditation retreat, is it a week long? 8 days?
Yeah,
8 days. It was like an 8-day Tibetan retreat at this funky little retreat center on Denman Island. And when Sarah and I would do retreats together, it's really funny. Always, 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 she has the most incredible time where all of the most gorgeous spiritual special effects happen to Sarah, like golden nectar flows down from the back of her brain and her body lights up with love and all this. And meanwhile, I always have some horrific thing go down. I got so sick because I had all this energy come up and I got really dysregulated, went into this crazy bipolar state. Didn't sleep for 2 days, got super sick because of that, and then coughed so much that I gave myself a hernia. And I had to get hernia surgery when I got home. It was hilarious. Yep, that's how my meditation retreat went. People say hi, Sarah. Not for Sarah. She just got orgasmic, cosmic orgasm bliss as usual. Anyway, so I'm doing a West Coast retreat at a place called Hollyhock on Cortez Island. You can see it on my website. It's freaking gorgeous, and it'll be longer than my usual retreats that I do. It'll be 4 days instead of just 2 days, and in a beautiful naturey place. So smaller group, which I'm excited about. And that's in when is it? When is that we're going to go to BC? Is it July? I think it's in July. It's on my website. Mm-hmm. So yeah, chat. July. Anyway, good to hang out. I feel really good after that meditation. Didn't really get much of a meditation the past couple of weeks, so this was good. But thanks for linking to it, Andrew. Good night, everyone. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everyone. You should come, Kay. If you want. I mean, should. No one should do anything. See you later, skaters.